Hello everyone, my name is Tristan and today I'm going to be explaining the steps of meiosis and what meiosis is. So, meiosis is different from mitosis. If you want to learn what mitosis is, check out my last video. But this video is on meiosis. So, what is meiosis? Meiosis is another step of reproduction, and instead, unlike meiosis has genetic variation and it is the reproduction of humans, rather than mitosis, which is just the reproduction of human cells, such as skin cells or organ cells. Meiosis is actually creating a new being. So, what are the steps of meiosis? Well, similar to mitosis, it follows PMAT, which is prophase, metaphase, anaphase, and telophase, and it also has interphase and cytokinesis, just like mitosis, but it is a little different. While the steps have the same names, first of all, meiosis repeats it twice, and the steps are not exactly the same. So, in meiosis, just like mitosis, we start with interphase, and this is similar to mitosis, where we just see the DNA duplication over here. You can see that we have our chromosomes here, and they duplicate here. So you know how, just like in mitosis, we have two chromosomes here, and here we still consider them two chromosomes. But here, because we only have two chromatids, and here we have four chromatids, they are duplicated. But you can see that because they are being held by their centromere here, they are still considered as one chromosome. So once interphase is completed, we go to prophase, just like mitosis. Here, again, just like mitosis, not much happens. You can see that the nucleus here is starting to disappear, and we can see that the spindles here are starting to form here, trying to grab onto the chromosomes. Then we move on to metaphase, and this one is very interesting because this is where genetic differentiation happens. And so here we have our chromosomes just like that, and you can see that they start overlapping one another, and this is preparation for something called crossing over, which I will explain. So here you can see they are overlapping, and in the middle that's called the chiasma. And then it goes over here, which is crossing over. So you see how here they have overlapped it. Well, now they're going to switch. They're going to cross over and switch their DNAs. So you can see that this blue one has moved over to here, just like here. The blue one that was here has moved over here, and the red one has moved over here. So they have switched their DNA, and this will create a new being and have DNA differentiation. And then after metaphase one, we go into anaphase. And in anaphase, similar to mitosis, this is where the chromosomes start getting pulled apart. But instead of the actual chromosome getting pulled apart, it's the homologous pairs that are getting pulled apart. So you can see that we have one chromosome going to the left, we have one chromosome going to the right, and they're going to be split and getting ready for self-splitting. So after anaphase, we go to telophase 1. So here we can see that the nucleus has formed. The chromosomes are on opposite sides, polar sides of the cell, and they are in their own nucleus and getting ready to split. So also in telophase, we see that the cell will now split in half, and it will move on to PMAT number 2. So as I mentioned before, meiosis, it uses PMAT twice. It uses PMAT 1 and then PMAT 2. So after telophase, we start moving into PMAT 2. There is no cytokinesis in between. It just straight away goes into prophase 2. Prophase 2. So for the next couple of steps that I will show you, we will be focusing on this right cell. However, just be aware that what happens on the right cell will happen in the left cell. So at the end, we will end up with 4 cells, even though I will only be showing 2 cells. So after telophase, we go into prophase, which again, similar to prophase 1, we see the spindles are starting to form, and now the nucleus has disappeared. We can see that in metaphase 2, the spindles have now attached to the chromosome here. You can see that it's attached to the centromere of the chromosome. Then in anaphase, you get them splitting in half. Now this one is very similar to mitosis, just like how actual um, the actual chromosome gets split in half. So now we have one chromosome here, one chromosome here, and then in telophase 2, you can see that again the nucleus is starting to form here, and the chromosomes are by themselves in each side. Now you can see again, this one has a little bit of differentiation, but this one doesn't. And that's how you get different genetics. And finally, we have cytokinesis. We ended up with cytokinesis where the cell splits in half, and now we have two separate cells here, and we have our nucleus, and then we have our chromosome right in there. This will also happen to the other cell back in the previous prophase, and we will now end up with 4 cells. So what are the actual chromosomes in each cell? So you know how back we start here, we start with we duplicate our DNA, and so in here we have 42 chromosomes. We start with 42 chromosomes in interphase, right? Then we go into telophase, right? We still have 42, but then because they split and they split, now in prophase, when we're looking at one of the cells, we have uh we have 23. We have 23 chromosomes here, okay? 23 chromosomes in each cell. And then when we go to cytokinesis, you can see that, sorry, not in cytokinesis, and all the way back in anaphase 2, these two split. Now you would say that, oh, well, now they split again. I guess you must half the chromosomes, but that's not the case because remember how we count by centromeres? So this is technically considered one chromosome. This is considered one chromosome. But when they're in an X shape, that's still considered one chromosome. So at the end, back in cytokinesis, this still has 23 chromosomes. This still has 23 chromosomes. So when you cut it half, you still have 23 chromosomes. So it goes 46, then 23, and then 23. So that is the steps of meiosis. I hope you understand and you learned a little bit. And if you did, make sure to subscribe. Thanks for watching.